going on, everybody? It's Ember Bay Podcast back for another episode. Per usual, if you are new here, thank you so much for checking us out. We really appreciate your support. If you're not new here, thank you again for stopping by for another episode, checking us out. We really appreciate that. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the things. But look, guys, we are really trying to grow the YouTube channel. So if you haven't done so already, please go over there and subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell button. You'll get a notification when our episodes drop. We are aiming for an every Monday morning drop at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So as long as we have an episode prepared for you, we're going to let her rip. Today, it's just me. Mason is jammed up with work. Rich is out on the bay guiding. He's got a full book schedule, so it's 80 degrees here, and the bass are firing. So I don't blame him for being out there, doing his thing. But today we have our first woman guest, which is kind of a big deal. So just a little background. For people that don't know, this whole thing started a long time ago. I used to have a clothing company called Upper Bay Outdoors Clothing. And this lady here, Jaclyn, she was one of the big supporters of that. She bought a ton of stuff from me. And she just continued to share everything on socials, and she's continued to support. So it only felt right that for our first woman guest, we'd have her on, and we're going to have a fun time talking today. So let me go ahead and bring her in from the background here. So I got you, Jaclyn?
I'm here.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I really appreciate you hopping on here with us. I know you're, are you getting on the road today, or are you getting on the road tomorrow? Tomorrow. Yeah. Make the drive. So just so everybody knows, you're making the drive back to Maryland for turkey season, right?
Yeah, just for the weekend. And then I'll try to come back probably a little bit later in the season, but our season opens May 1st, and I got some birds I'm looking at up here as well. So
okay.
Kind of going back and forth.
And you're in New York?
Yes, I am.
Nice. Is it like upstate New York?
Depends who you ask. I learned that once I moved up here, but it's more like central New York. We're in the Finger Lakes, so we're not like up towards the Adirondack Park, but we're not down towards the city at all.
You're in the pretty part of New York.
Yes.
Yeah. I was up at the Finger Lakes probably 2 years ago, right around this time, small fishing in one of the lakes up there. It's beautiful up in that area.
It is. It really is. I didn't know anything about it when I first moved up here. So it was funny that after I was up here for a while, everyone was like, oh, I'm going to the Finger Lakes. I'm like, oh, I live there.
Perfect. What made you move up there? Was it your job?
So we actually moved up here for grad school.
Okay.
There's a chiropractic college not that far from here, but I was only in the grad school for a short time. I ended up hating it. So the area was beautiful. So I was like, I think I'm gonna stay here for a little. And growing up in Maryland was great. I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. I loved Maryland, but it's just such a small town where I grew up. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get out for a while. And so I stayed here and I loved it. So I was like, we're going to stay here for a while.
Yeah, there you go. Nothing wrong with that. What county did you grow up in here in Maryland?
You're going to be real shocked when I say this, but Cecil.
Really?
Yeah. I went and graduated from Bow.
Oh, shit. What year did you graduate?
2011.
2011. Okay. Wow. So we're the same age, man. That means you probably know all the same people that are listening to this podcast right now.
Probably. Yeah. I actually didn't realize you were from that area. And I was listening to one of the podcasts, like one of your other episodes, and you guys kept talking about Fair Hill. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why. I guess I just assumed this as well. I thought you were from down closer to the Bay Bridge. Queen Anne's County, or I forget what the other county is down there, but yeah, wow, small world. Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple bow guys on. I mean, we had, you probably know Bo Matherly. We've had him on. And I played baseball forever with oh gosh, of course now I can't think of his name. He was a pitcher. He would have graduated same time as us from there. But anyways, yeah, that's awesome. So did you grow up, hunting and fishing? Is that how you got started, or is it when you moved up there you got started?
Right. So I didn't grow up hunting. Fishing, yes. But not anything like crazy. Like I had like when I was really little, a SpongeBob pole back in the day. We would just ride our bikes. Because I grew up in Cecilton, so small town, super small. So we would ride our bikes like down towards like Earlville and just find small creeks and just kind of fish that way. But I always loved being outdoors. Hunting's a little bit harder to get into when you don't know anybody, and like my family is not really outdoorsy at all. Like nobody else in my family hunts, nobody else in my family fishes. I'm really kind of the black sheep in that way. Like I'm really the only one. And I didn't really know, like none of my friends hunted or anything like that growing up. So it was something I always wanted to do. I always watched, I grew up watching Duck Dynasty. And all the shows like that.
Right.
Meat Eater, Steve Rennell, like all those I've watched, and I always wanted to do it. But like I said, like we were like super, like we didn't have any money. So it wasn't something that you could really get into. Like fishing, yeah, you get a fishing license and you take your pole, $20 Walmart pole, and you dig up some worms and you can go fishing. Hunting's so much different and there's so much more involved. So I always wanted to, like I said, but I actually didn't start hunting. I hunted the very first time I was 25. So 2018.
It's actually, I mean, truth be told, that's actually very impressive because like you're saying, for people, and I've talked to a couple other people on this podcast about this before, but if you don't grow up with some kind of mentor or somebody to kind of guide you, like most people don't even know where to start when it comes to hunting. It's so foreign, you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. You don't know what's required and all that. So for you to move completely far away and to just pick it up it's very impressive. And I mean, it seems like you've kind of based your life around it now.
Yeah. So I got really lucky when I moved up here. I met one of my best friends and her whole family hunts. So they kind of like were able to mentor me and things like that. So they took me for the very first time in 2018. And it definitely doesn't, or it does help, but I got very lucky and I shot my first buck the first ever day I went out. We had only been out there for like 2 hours. So that definitely helped. It's like hook, line, and sinker. I was addicted after that. So that was huge, like for me and just the experience. And I've always been extremely grateful for her and her dad for taking me because it just kind of changed the course of my life.
Right.
But like you said, it's not easy to get into. And that's one of the things I've kind of found, especially being a female in the industry. It's not always easy just because like as females, we get intimidated a little bit easier and it's hard sometimes learning from guys. And especially with such a male-dominated field. So that's why a few times, I enjoy doing it, but I've mentored on women's hunts and just tried to like I guided a women's hunt just this past fall for goose, just to get more women out there and just so they have somebody that's been in the industry that they can learn from where they don't have to feel as scared or as nervous. And they're some of the most supportive people in this industry are guys. It's just sometimes it's just intimidating. So having another girl in the field just makes it a little bit more comfortable. For sure.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, we need more women in the sport too. There's not many of you guys, and obviously I'm not a woman, so I don't know, but I can see how it would be very intimidating, in a male dominated area. And honestly, like, I know, there's probably, I don't know any specifically, but there's probably some guys out there that would probably wouldn't even want to mentor a girl, so it is. And that's why it's so important to find a family friend, or a family member or something that's willing to just take you under their wing. So that is, that, kudos to everybody that's helped you so far, throughout your journey. I mean, we as hunters, like we always talk about, recruitment, like we're losing hunters, and it takes people like your friend and your friend's dad and all them, that are willing to pass it down. So, thumbs up to all those guys.
Yeah, I really got really lucky with that. And like I said, I've been thankful for them, and I've shot beautiful bucks ever since, and I've gotten to hunt kind of a little bit of everything. And it's all because somebody took me for the first time.
Right.
And I've noticed a lot of people are getting, even guys and girls are getting into it a lot later these days, but then they're going to pass it down if it's something, that they love and they have a family, which is nice. We definitely need that, like, family dynamic back into the sport again.
Yeah, the whole tradition thing definitely needs to come back around, because we are kind of losing that aspect of it. Are you hunting? Were you hunting like family property up there? Was it their own private farm, or are you guys hunting state land?
Yeah, it's a farm. It's a farm. That's the same farm I've been hunting ever since I moved up here. But
because that makes a huge difference too. Like it's even more intimidating trying to get into the sport if you have to tackle state land or public land right off the jump. And the whole, like, right now, I think like one of the biggest issues we're facing as hunters in today's age is we're losing access at a rapid rate, especially to private stuff. And so like, that's a huge issue of, recruitment levels being down. So, the fact that you have the ability to hunt private land is amazing. And that helps contribute. And, more people that own farms or have special farm, like private access or, permission pieces or whatever, like, they're the important ones that need to be taking more newcomers out and introducing them, because, you throw a rookie out there on state land, and sure, some people will do it their first year and it'll stick, right? Like they had a good experience or whatever, but most of the time, 8 times out of 10, they're probably not going to have a great experience that first year. And then we've lost them, so like you said, like you shot a buck on your first hunt. And even if you hadn't had done that, you probably still would have had a really great season and probably would have harvested a deer at some point along the way. And that's all it takes. And then you're hooked for life. And that's the beauty of this sport.
Yeah. I definitely, like I said, I definitely got super lucky being able to have somebody to take me, but also they have the farm and they've allowed me to hunt it. And on top of that, like, there are some places where it's super nice. Like other states, I just actually learned about this when I went to North Dakota. So North Dakota, and my friend lives in PA. I guess they do it too. They have programs where like landowners get tax breaks, and if they allow people to hunt it. So it's still like private property, but they're more likely to say yes, like if you go and ask. And I think that is huge too in the states that allow it, because yeah, there's a lot of private property out there and a lot of private farms, which make it harder and more intimidating. But if there's an incentive to those landowners to allow people to hunt it, it takes a little bit, I think, of the intimidation factor out when you're going to knock on doors. Because sometimes when you're going to knock on doors and it's just, a random field, you saw a nice buck or a turkey or whatever, and you're gonna, well, maybe not everyone, but I know for me, it's like terrifying to even think about. You're like, oh my gosh. And granted, what's the worst they can say is no, but it's still like a scary thing to kind of think about. So I think those co-op programs that they have like in PA, North Dakota are awesome. But I hunted public a handful of times, but last year we went turkey hunting, me and my friend Emily, in Southern Maryland. And that was my first experience in the turkey woods. And we actually got lucky because when we got there, 2 other trucks were rolling in at the same time. And the guys actually pointed us again, we don't know, but in a direction he said he had heard birds before. So I don't have a ton of public land experience, but the few that I do have, I haven't had any horror stories so far.
Right. Yeah. And I don't want people to think that I'm being so negative about it, because there is a lot of good public land hunters and people, you do have a lot of good experiences out there. They're just, I mean, but there's also horror stories out there too, you know, and anybody that's hunted public land, like Mason, who we do the podcast with, like he's all public land. And I mean, he's got stories all the time of people that you deal with and what you run into and stuff. And it's just part of it. And I get it, you know, especially in Maryland where like our public land is not that crazy here. Like we're talking small blocks, like multiple small blocks, you know, of acreage. It's not like these Midwest states or like PA where you have vast amount of mountain state land and stuff like that. I mean, I would assume in New York, probably the same way, kind of similar to PA, like vast amount of state land.
There's a good amount. A lot of it more up towards like the Adirondack Park. We have a good amount here, but we're kind of running into the issue where I know just the other day I saw an article that they're looking to take one of the conservation properties and put solar farms on it. So we're running into a lot of that. They're popping up everywhere here. So
yeah,
that makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah, there's been a big push for solar farms in Cecil recently too, and I know a couple. Like I don't know if you know the Larimores or not, but like they're specifically fighting against it pretty hard here, which is a good thing. And then like in Delaware, I mean, they're dealing with the data center thing like crazy, just property getting bought up left and right for data centers. So it's only a matter of time before we're all forced to public land to some extent, you know. It sucks,
no kidding. It's crazy. I was just talking to my brother the other day because he lives in Middletown. And last time I went and visited, I'm like, you know, this used to be all farmland when we were younger. And now it's nothing but shops and apartments and housing and Amazon.
The amount of Amazon warehouses is just out of control.
Yeah. It's wild. It's hard, especially for the sport. It makes it hard. But
I mean, it just what's going to eventually happening is like people are just going to naturally keep pushing, you know, towards the Midwest, you know, and then it'll be crowded out there, and then eventually probably not in our lifetime, but I would imagine it, you know, throughout the Earth's lifetime that, you know, just the building up is going to keep following the land. So, but it is what it is. But how did you do this season, deer wise?
So I actually got my biggest deer ever this year.
There you go.
It was actually the first time I've actually got a deer by myself. So every other year it's either been the first year was my best friend and her dad, and then every year after that has been my boyfriend's been with me. And he is a long range, like he shoots long range, like he's a great shooter and he's taught me. So we also the show that I work for, one of our sponsors is Bobby Hart, and he does a long range shooting school. So we did his shooting school twice now, I think. So I gotten a lot more comfortable just shooting long range, but also just kind of being able to do everything by myself. So this year I wanted to do it by myself. So I went out, and it's kind of crazy because the deer that I shot, we had never seen him, not on the camera or anything. And I went out in the morning. I wasn't going to, funny enough, because I have Onyx, and I checked it and it said deer, because it was like raining and windier than I'll get out. And I checked Onyx and it said the probability of deer movement was 1%. Maybe I shouldn't go. I mean, it's windy. I was like, you know, I work during the week, so I can't get out. So it was the weekend. I'm like, I'll just go. Just might as well. And so I was just sitting out there, and I'm an avid reader, so I am always reading in the blind. So I was just sitting there reading, and I don't know, it was probably like 8:00, and I'm like, you know, I think I'm going to go inside. I was getting hungry. So I was like, So I got up, I got out of the blind, and I started to walk back up towards the house because we just hunt right out back on the farm, like I said. And I stop and I look down in the field, and isn't this deer that I've never seen before, this monster standing there? And I'm like, you're joking. So I called my boyfriend because he wasn't even home at the time. And I was like, I just got out of the blind and he's standing in the field. He's like, well, how far from the blind are you? I'm like, I'm going back. So I snuck my way back around, got back in the blind. And by the time I got in and got set, it's like a long, narrow field. He was all the way at the other end, which it was probably like 600-700 yards. And he was kind of cutting towards the corner of the property. I was like, oh crap. Like, there he goes. So I'm sitting there and like, I don't know, 10 minutes later, I hear a bang. I'm like, oh no, one of the neighbors just shot him. Great. So I'm like, crap. I like texted my boyfriend. I'm like, come on. Like, I think you just shot him. He's like, well, you never know. So I was in this one part of my book and I'm like, no, I'm just going to stay here and just keep reading. And this is embarrassing to even say, and I shouldn't even say it, but I was like, it was a book about the military. So I was like crying. I'm sitting here reading this book. I'm like crying. And then I look up and I see this massive head just pop out because it's like a tree line, just pop out the tree line. I'm like, no way. So I have to like compose myself because I get buck fever like no other, like so bad.
Yeah.
And I was by myself, so I didn't have anybody to like, I had to range it. I had to adjust the scope, everything like that. So I'm like talking myself through it. I'm like, oh, because I had the bullet was in my pocket because I didn't want it to get cold. So I'm like, okay, chamber the round. So I put the bullet in and I'm like, okay, now you got to range them. Like I'm literally saying all of this out loud.
Right.
398 yards. I'm like, okay, cool. So I adjust the scope and I'm like, oh God. And he's walking this whole time, like not stopping. He's not looking twice at anything. So I like hurry up. I get the scope on him. I get it comfortable. And of course it's broadside the whole time. So it's just getting there. And then, so I take the shot, he jumps and kicks. And then right next to the open field, we have a cow pasture. So there's high tensile fence right there. So he kicked and he started running the way he was walking and jumped the fence. But when he jumped it, he clipped I think it was his back feet, and he ended up landing on his shoulder. But then he got up and started running. And I was like, oh man. I was mostly confident in my shot, but mostly not like, but I was a little unsure, mostly because it was the first time I ever did it by myself.
Right.
But I was like literally trembling, and I got to make my first, like, I got him call because every other time somebody's been with me. So I didn't have to make that phone call. So I literally call and I'm like, oh, I shot him. And he's like, what? What are you saying? I'm like, I shot him. And he's like, okay. He's like, just stay there. So I did. And I get out of the blind and I'm standing there. And he was not home. So he had to drive all the way home. So I'm waiting, pacing back and forth. And then when he was in the truck, he called me again. And I'm like, oh man. And he's like, okay, walk me through it. What happened? And I'm like, oh, this. And then, so he gets there and he goes, well, did you adjust the scope? Yes, I did. He knew, like, because I told him that he had kicked. So obviously that's just like a pretty good sign. But
right,
he just knew like how jacked up I was. And so again, he's 6'6". So he's like a foot and a half taller than me. So normally when we're walking, I'm way behind him because I'm like little legs. But so he grabs the rifle, the 7 PRC, and he's like looking through the scope just because right where we shot him, there was like trees that went halfway up the field. So you couldn't see like past it if he was down. So he grabs it and he's just kind of helping me walk out there. So we're walking out and then he turns and he looks at me and he just raises his hand to give me a high five. And I knew that because he, like I said, he could see because he's a lot taller and he was 10 yards ahead of me because of my little legs, and gives me a high five. So I knew instantly he was down. I instantly like bent over and he was like, are you coming? I was like, I think I'm going to puke. He was like, what the heck is happening? And it was just like pure adrenaline. And then when we got up to him, he like looked at me, he goes, holy, like, where did this deer come from? Massive, absolute, like the biggest deer I've ever shot. And I mean, obviously I'm proud of it, but it was a whirlwind for sure for that one. The emotions from the book and then going straight into shooting the deer.
All worked up before the deer even comes out.
No, which probably didn't help me wanting to vomit at the time, but yeah, it was wild. But the deal had always been every year you're gonna shoot a deer, or you should aim to shoot a deer bigger than the deer last year.
Right.
And like I said before, I'm very, very blessed to hunt here. It's private, obviously, but my boyfriend and his dad do like QDM, like they try to manage what they can here. Obviously, deer, they don't know property lines, so they're gonna go wherever, but so they do the QDM, but also his dad, they own the farm. Even he doesn't hunt it. They like basically allow just, I'm the only one who hunts it. The one year, actually, I was like unbelievably impressed. We had a deer showed up, had double drop tines.
Oh, wow.
It was wicked. It was wicked. And we got videos of him before the season in velvet also. That one, his dad and I was like so beyond proud when he shot that one, because
you guys got that one?
Yeah, he worked the whole season. He was out there constantly for that deer. And everybody around that even had ever seen that deer was after it, because you don't really see that around here. So like I said, they do a good job at just kind of managing deer, allowing them to grow. They've instilled that in me. So I mean, shoot what you're going to be proud of always, no matter what that is. But people always, complain because there's not big deer, but then you're shooting a 2-year-old deer. Well, I mean, he can't get to 3 and 4 if he's dead at 2. So,
yeah,
they've definitely instilled that in me.
That's good. I mean, we preach that a lot on here too. And I'm with you. I mean, obviously shoot what makes you happy, but don't shoot what makes you happy and then complain about never seeing a mature deer too. But is it that one hanging on your wall back there? Is that it?
No, that's actually my very first deer.
Oh, okay.
I beaded it, so it's.
I saw on your socials you bedazzled it, you gemmed it out.
Yeah, it took a long time, but that's actually that's the deer that I shot the very first day I ever went hunting.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Yeah. So are you getting this one mounted?
He was at the taxidermist the next day.
Ah, the girl. Good. I love mounting them. I mean, you can't see, but I got them all around me in here. But no, that's awesome. It actually is pretty impressive that you were able to compose yourself enough to be able to recall everything, because those first couple bucks, especially that you shoot on your own, man, it's like, I can't tell you. And I'm guilty of it. Like, I can't tell how many times I shoot them and then I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened? Like, what happened? I don't even remember pulling back. I don't remember letting the arrow go. Like, I just remember seeing them run that way, you kind of just get that blackout from all the adrenaline. But that's a really cool story. Was it during the rut? Was it after the rut?
It was towards the end of it, but
gotcha.
He was definitely looking for a doe.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to is, you said you hadn't seen them. Just, those big ones, especially that time of year, they're just cruising so hard. You never know what's going to pop up, but that's what makes it, that much more fun too.
Yeah. I got lucky because he came across, went up, came back down, and was going right back the way he had just come through. And I got lucky that he was kind of doing that circle, because I thought he got shot after I heard that bang, but.
Right. Do you guys talk to any of the neighbors around that farm?
Yeah. I don't, but the guys do.
I'm just curious, if they knew of that deer, or if I'm always interested to see sometimes how far those big ones will travel, especially during that time of year.
Yeah. So there's actually, I always end up seeing it, but there's a Facebook page. There's quite a few of them, but, that people will submit their photos, or they'll grab the photos off of somewhere and they'll post it. And then there's always comments. The last few years, every time my deer is posted, I've seen people, this is one I've been seeing, or whatever, for a few farms over. And then the one I saw was, I don't know, quite a few miles away, and they had him, they posted the pictures and the comments on trail cam, and they were like, this is where this was. So they definitely travel, obviously a lot, but it's cool every once in a while, when people do post. like the trail cam that they have and like where they are and how far kind of from where the deer is actually taken.
Yeah, it is cool. Like Mason's a big shed hunter, and like this year specifically, there was one day where him and I were shed hunting together, and he found a match set of a buck that he knew from off our property several miles down the road. And, so it's just like how far they're willing to go, especially, during the rut or where they want to winter based off of where the food is. Like they're just so smart and they just have all that just ingrained on to just keep going. It is crazy.
It is. It's wild. And it's crazy to see like the difference. Because I've shot some deer like super late in the season and then some like peak rut, and just seeing just in general just the mass that they lose during the rut, and just the difference in like when you're processing it, just the difference in the meat
right
in general and how it tastes. It's crazy.
Yeah, this one actually right here above me is a big 8-pointer. I shot it down in Easton, Maryland, and we had never seen him until I shot him with a gun in like mid-December, and he was on a doe then, and he had been in there for like a week on a doe. But when I had shot him, he was literally just basically skin and bones. Like he had rutted so hard that he was just wore out. I mean, it was just they feed all summer long and all early fall and packing those acorns for all that fat and just for the rut, and then they burn it all off, and then you just got to hope and pray they survive for the winter through next year, but are you guys doing any are you doing any kind of like doe management on that property? Are you trying to shoot a certain amount of does, or are you just taking whatever you need to fill the freezer?
So usually there's not necessarily, they don't necessarily do anything. We don't actually shoot any does on our property. Usually, depending on the year, the deer that I shoot is the only one that gets taken.
Okay.
Which is funny because I don't know. We have a few doe that kind of like stick around, and we mostly know because we have this old doe. She gives twins every single year, and she sticks kind of around in the back pasture. But it's hard to manage. I guess the main way that they do like the QDM is not shooting the small deer.
Right.
The doe, they don't necessarily do any type of doe management.
Yeah, I guess I say that based off of like what I know the herd size here can be. I don't necessarily know like what the herd size is up in your area. Obviously here in Maryland, like we're overrun with does, like they're everywhere. So we have to be pretty heavily on the doe management side of things. Whereas like, I know that there's several states where, especially the further north you get on the East Coast, like Maine, stuff like that, like the herd sizes are a lot lower. So you probably don't have to manage as much. So I just wasn't sure. I was just curious.
Yeah. It's funny. So Maryland is such a small state, but you guys can have what? Like you get like 10 doe a year or something?
I haven't looked at like the amount of does you can get in a while, but it's a lot. I think it's more than 10. You can get $3. You can get one with your bow, your gun, and your muzzleloader, and which is crazy. But what is it? Just one buck up there where you guys are?
You can do two. You can do bow, muzzleloader as one. So it's either you get it with bow or muzzleloader, and then rifle or yeah. But doe, I think you only get two.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So obviously yeah. Is that property where you've got your turkeys picked out up there? Is that where you've been eyeing them up?
Yeah. So actually right before I sat down, I was looking out the window. There's a tom out there in full strut. I'm like, come on.
Teasing you, man. Teasing you.
Yeah. I'm like, please just stick around. But one of my friends is letting me hunt her property too. So I'm trying to see if there's any turkeys. They haven't lived there that long.
I got you.
I just put a trail cam out the other day, but yeah, just eyeing these toms that just want to be out every day. I'm like, come on, the season's still like 15 days away.
Yeah, that's crazy. May 1st, huh? That's a while. That's ways out. I mean, truthfully though, like in Maryland, that's right around when I like it the best here anyways. You know, they get on them hens right away that first couple weeks, and then usually first, second week of May, they start looking out more, start cruising around a little bit more. But are you hunting just state land when you come back home?
Yeah, that's what I'll do when I'm down there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it ends up working out that I'll only be able to hunt like only the one day. Kind of like
Okay.
a dual purpose going down there. My niece just turned 16.
Okay.
So she plays softball and I haven't seen her play yet. So
There you
going
go.
down there to watch her games. But so it'll work out, I think, like, yeah, it'll be 1 or 2 mornings that I'm able to get out.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it'll just be state.
Cool. Well, hopefully you get one. That'd be sick. But well, let's talk about your career choice, because for somebody that didn't start hunting until they were 25, now you've based your career around hunting is very fascinating to me. So, I mean, obviously, so you work for USOC, which is on the Pursuit channel, and please enlighten me, because I've been on their website several times since you and I have been talking, and I mean, it all looks very interesting and stuff. So please, tell us all about it.
Yeah, so USOC Adventures TV, we're a membership-based program. The premise is we have members, so you sign up. It's $40 a month and $40 a year, sorry. $40 a year. And we give 12 to 15 trips away a year. So you're $40, you're in for the year. And every annual member, which is the $40 a year, gets entered in automatically to all of these trips. Then you can purchase extra entries if you want them. And then if you're a lifetime member, it's like you get 3 automatic entries, and then again, you can buy more. But so we give away these trips. We work with outfitters, and they kind of donate the hunts to us, and then we film it. So it's kind of like advertising for them. And then, so they give away the trip, whatever they normally do, whether lodgings included, foods included, so on and so forth. So we also do a veterans trip every year. So that's coming up. We'll do a veterans striper trip. We usually do off the coast of Jersey. That's coming up. And then we do a youth velvet deer hunt every year in South Carolina at Collins Low Country Hunt Club. They're huge supporters of the show. We love Tom and all them all down there. And then every other trip is kind of for anyone. We do one woman's trip, which that actually last year was the first year, and we did a duck hunt in North Dakota with Mouse River Outfitters, which was amazing. But essentially you sign up and you can win one of these trips, which again, it kind of goes back to, if you don't have a ton of money, like outfitted hunts can be a lot of money. So, you're paying the $40 a year, but you might win one of these trips, and the only thing you have to do is get there and get your tags usually, which is going to be a quarter of the cost of what the whole thing would be if you did it yourself. And then you get it filmed, and then that's a memory you get to keep forever, and it's aired on TV. So the show's been around. We're going into our 13th season.
Wow.
And it's not necessary, like, we all love to do it, but it's not really my career. Like, I do work full time. So we all do, which a lot of people are like, oh, that's crazy. But it's kind of something that we're all just passionate about, and we love doing it. We love, getting people out there. Like the trip winner that we had, quite a few of our trip winners, but one of our trip winners actually is from Cecil County, Maryland.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was a little boy. He won a few years ago for the Youth Velvet in South Carolina. And ever since then, like, they all became lifetime members because they loved it so much. And it's like those opportunities you might not get if there weren't programs like this. And it kind of, I wish our program, like, I wish we could really get out there. It's so hard these days to get that reach because I feel like a lot of our members are like the East Coast, like New York, Maryland, Pennsylvania. But we're able to do it because we have awesome sponsors who believe in the program, and our team that, you know, we work to find these sponsors and find these outfitters. And another one of our big outfitters that we use is Bugle Country, which is Jake. He's in Southern Maryland. So that's where I got to go for my very first trip with USOC, was actually down there to hunt Sika.
Okay.
So you get like these relationships with these people, and it's not just because, you know, of the hunting community, but it's because they believe in the program as much as we do. And so they're willing to donate, you know, a trip, which isn't cheap for them either, but they're willing to, because then, like, it brings people to them, but it also is like, hey, if you ever want to see what it's like to hunt with us, you can go watch one of the episodes. So it's nice that way. But like, we've had like Mouse River, Tessa, me and her have gotten really close, and we're going back again in October. But we saw her down at Harrisburg when we were down there, and she was like, you know, we had somebody just cold call because they saw your show on the Pursuit channel and they booked a hunt with us right away. So the story of me getting into it is a little less climactic. The two owners of the TV show live in the town that I moved to. And one of them was good friends with RJ, and they hunted together a ton, and they like grew up together. And so like I became a member first, and I was like, oh, like I'll see, you know, maybe I'll win a cool trip. That would be cool. And then one day they like posted looking for somebody to join the team, send your resume. And like I didn't know the guys then, so hindsight's always 2020. But so I sent my resume and everything, and then he called me and he was like, yeah, like, we think you'd be a great fit to the team, blah, blah. Well, now it's a huge joke because he's like, why'd you actually send your resume? I'm like, well, I don't know. That's what I thought I was supposed to do. He's
right.
Like, no. He's like, well, and he's like, you actually said, I'm like, well, it said to send it. But like, now that I know them, I'm like, I wish I never did that. But it was really, it was
professional.
Right, exactly. But it was really just that simple. Like, they had posted, and I was like, oh, like, let's see where this takes me. And just like that first hunt that I went on, just sending, you know, my resume, seeing that, it changed kind of everything, because I've met so many people because of the show, and there's so many, like, I've gotten to meet so many people, go on so many different trips, and just kind of seeing like the impact that the show has made on the people that do know about it and the people that have won is crazy. Like, when we do our lives and we give away a trip and we call that person, 99% of the time they're like, no way, this isn't real. I don't believe it. There's no way. And it's been awesome working for them. And like I said, we couldn't do it without the outfitters that work with us and our sponsors. I mean, we have some amazing sponsors: Vortex, Dry Shod, Nectar. Like, a lot of our sponsors we have to pitch it to them, but they believe in it. And that's kind of, I wish, like I said, wish we had a little bit more reach, just because I feel like our program could be so much more than it is. But it's so hard just getting the name out there.
Yeah.
Like, there are people in the town that we literally live in. Oh, I haven't heard of this. We're like, oh man, what else can we do?
Right. That's what I was like. That's what I was just sitting here thinking, like, I mean, is there any ideas of how to reach out to more people?
Well, we kind of tried a little bit of everything, like pushing it on social media. We have all the social media: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Obviously, we're on TV.
Right.
We go to shows, like Harrisburg. We go down there. We don't have a booth anymore just because it's hard for 9 days. It's a very long
Right.
show. We went to NWTF 2 years ago. The biggest thing is like when we're just trying to reach out mostly to outfitters that are elsewhere, because then they a lot of times will, their clients mention it to them and stuff. And like when we go on trips, like when I went to North Dakota, there was a group of guys from Georgia and Alabama that just happened to be there. And so I told them about the program. So they all followed. And then like Mouse River, like I said, they ran like a deal in conjunction with us when they were in Harrisburg. So one of the requirement for them, they got a discounted hunt, but they all had to become members. So then it gets out to them and then they can see like the benefits of the program. And they're all from like Texas. So
okay,
they can see all the benefits. And we've done, hunts in Caprock Waterfowl, Jonathan in Texas. We've done hunts down there, and we did actually an all dad hunt this past year at Dietering Ranch in Texas. So, I mean, it's just word of mouth is huge, but
yeah,
when you're you're a member, but it's just keeping the name out there. Because a lot of people we've had a few of them like, oh yeah, this membership was a gift for me, and I didn't realize even what it was. And it's like, we love it, but we just wish more people knew exactly what we were doing.
Have you? Are you familiar with Camo Space?
I think I've heard of it. We talked to them, I think once. I think at NWTF we talked to them.
Gotcha. So they're Maryland based, Southern Maryland. But they are basically like, it's like hunting's own Instagram, basically, is like their app, is what Camo Space is. So like, we're on there just a little bit, but when you go on there, it's just all hunting content. It's all it is. So that might be something, worth looking into, is maybe, getting on that app. And because like on there, like you can literally just like, there, like, I don't know how the algorithm specifically works on that app, but from what I can tell, like you just go on there and you start posting it, and like all members that are on the app can see it. So it might be worth looking into for you guys, as trying to reach out, especially with them being Maryland based and all that too. So, but,
yeah, that, and one of my good friends actually does like social media for this new website. It's called True North Woods and Water.
okay.
The owner, I think his name's Danny. We talked to him briefly at Harrisburg, but it's like that one's a little bit different. It's a website, and anybody that has like an outfitter or whatever, you can like pay X amount a year and you'll like be advertised. But it's like essentially kind of like a Google for hunting. So you go on there, and if you're looking, to go hunt in X or Y state, like say you're going to New York, you're going to go on there. What do I need? What are the rules and regs? What are outfitters or programs or whatever that are in that state? And it's all going to be kind of in one place. So that one, I think we are going to look into a little bit more too.
Okay.
So that one's a new one.
Yeah, that's different. That's a good idea. I like the fact that like outfitters are willing to, donate, some hunts for you guys and all that, because like outfitters these days, like typically have this like stigma to them, or at least like what people think of them. Like they're just money grabbing, that you spend thousands of dollars with them, and just to go hunt, you may be successful, you may not be, and like they kind of just are like, I don't want to say they all have a bad rap, but like when people talk outfitters, like they get hesitant about it, because they get hesitant about spending all that money. But like just the fact that these people are willing to work with you guys and donate hunts and share all their hard work to have somebody that's won a trip be successful and stuff, like it just goes to show that like even those guys are in it for the long haul. Like they're in it to help grow this thing as well, and get young children and veterans and all that into the outdoors. So that's pretty incredible. The children and the veterans, especially, I mean, you can never go wrong with donating hunts to those guys.
Yeah, we definitely have been very lucky with the outfitters that we've worked with. We've built relationship with all of them, and it gives you like, not that I've ever had any type of bad experience, but I've heard, again, some people that have had bad experiences at outfits, which is so sad because they are such a good tool to use, especially when you aren't able to just do it yourself.
Right.
So, but we've gotten really lucky, and with all the outfitters we've worked with, they've been great, amazing people. They work with us year after year, and every time we send down a trip member or trip winner, which is a member, we've always gotten great feedback. We've never had a bad experience. So we've definitely gotten lucky, and a lot of it has to do with like the reputation that the owners, Dana and Rick, have kind of cultivated for themselves, but also just we all, like I said, we all work full time. So this isn't, none of us are getting paid for this. Like, this is just something we're passionate about. And
Right.
I think that is another reason that they're willing to do that, because they can see we believe in our program and how much we've put into it personally, just to make this big and to make this available for those, like I said, $40 a year, and you get to go, on an all-dad hunt, or you can go on a duck hunt in the Central Flyway, or iguana hunt, or whatever it is. And just I think us believing in it, and the outfitters that we've worked with have really made the program solid. And they're all like family now.
Yeah.
Like, we can, call them up, text them, just, hey.
I mean, what more can you ask for $40 a year? I mean, you can't even get a tank of gas anymore for $40. You know what I mean? It's like, and you have a chance to go on a hunt of a lifetime. Like, and it's amazing what you guys are doing. I mean, truthfully, just sitting here and learning about it and is incredible. And like you said, the fact that your hunt will be filmed and aired on TV, like, those, like, if you're one of those lucky people that get to go, like, think of how special it is for them after it's all said and done, and then they get to, oh man, my episode's going to air on this day, and you get all your friends and your family over to watch it. Like, that's really special. It's pretty amazing what you guys are doing. So, kudos to you all. We're just, there's got to be a way to help grow it. Any idea how many current members you guys currently have?
I think it's upwards of, last time I checked, it was probably like 2,000, I think.
Okay. That's not bad.
No, definitely not.
I mean, what ideally, what is a number that you think you guys would like to be at? We talking like 10,000, 5,000?
I don't know necessarily that we have a number like member wise that we're looking to be at. I think it's just kind of getting, because the more, like, we've tried working with outfitters out west, and when you kind of say like a lot of, your member base is on the East Coast, are kind of like, oh, well, and it gets a little tricky, especially with like the rules and regs out there, the draws and things like that.
Right.
But when you have members that are like a larger pool out there, say, for example, we draw somebody and they can't go, and then the next person that gets drawn lives out west near one of these outfitters, and then it's going to be a little bit easier to facilitate. But it's just getting the word out there, because even like sponsors, which again is how we mostly do all of this,
right,
it's always a numbers game, kind of. They're like, oh, well, that's it. Or, our social media, our Facebook, I think we have 16,000 followers. So, you would think that, like you said, $40 a year. What the heck?
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have like a number set. It's just the more people that are members, the more people that have the opportunity to, go on one of these once in a lifetime trips.
Right. Well, for all the people that are listening to this episode right now, it's $40. Just go sign up for the year. Just get it done. I'll be signing up as soon as we get off here. I'd like to win a trip somewhere. That'd be cool. I love trips.
Right. And we've given away like awesome trips, like Alaska.
Oh wow, really?
Alaska a few years. Yeah, we did. It's kind of sad. So the one year, our trip winner, his name was Austin, and he won and he went. And he had like an amazing time. And then we found out last year, I believe, he passed away. And he was young. It was like a freak accident. So,
gotcha.
But that kind of goes back to like the owner. Austin had, I believe he has 2 little kids. The owner like gifted them free lifetime memberships just because like his dad, like Austin was a huge supporter of the show and loved USOC, and his episode was awesome. I mean, again, it was Alaska, so can't really get much better than that. So
yeah, right.
They were duck hunting up there. So, and like this year, they just went in January to Duck Island in the Carolinas. I don't know if you've heard of them yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a wild experience in itself because you go and you stay on a literal island, and that's where the lodge is. And you get to hang out, and then you go duck hunt right off of the island that you're staying on, which, again, it's not like a standard hunt that most people would go on. It's something that, you don't even know exists, or maybe you do, but it's not anything you can facilitate yourself. But if you win it, $40 plus getting there and your tags, I mean, you really can't beat it.
No, you can't. And what people have to understand too is it's not a matter of like success or not successful. It's about the experience you're going to gain. It's about the adventure you're going to have. That's what I think gives like outfitters sometimes like a bad name, because people expect like you're paying this money and you think you're entitled to a successful hunt once you've spent the money on it. But we all know that that's just not how hunting goes. And it's just more about the experience that you're having while you're there, right? Which is why like your partners are so great, because I don't know what your success rate is, but even if they're not successful, like they're probably giving these winners, like, they're trying to give them this grand adventure, this experience that they'll never forget. And, and hopefully they tell their friends about that outfitter and, that leads to them coming back year to year, so it's all good stuff. It really is. And like I said, I mean, if you're listening to this, just go ahead and buy a membership, and let's just, hopefully I'm on the next plane to Alaska.
There you go. It could be.
But before we wrap it up, it is lottery season. Are you applying for any tags anywhere? You got any big trips planned for yourself?
I don't. I'm going back to North Dakota for the duck hunt. Hoping I can get to Florida for a gator this year. That would be ideal.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Mason's been talking about doing that as well. He really wants to go kill a gator and wrestle a python.
Okay, I'm gonna skip the python, but a gator, and the only other really like dream hunt that I have, I mean, obviously big game, elk would be wicked, but I want a cat for sure.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Cats, the big cats kind of scare me a little bit. I mean, if I was like hunting them, I'd be cool with it. But like Mason and I went shed hunting for elk sheds out in Montana last year, and I swear I kept telling him, like, dude, I feel like we're just being stalked. Like the whole time we were out there, I'm like just like constantly like looking around me because I just felt like they were following us the whole time.
Oh, you probably were. RJ, he goes every year to Montana. They go for usually about a month, and they had a few instances where they're walking and they see the prints ahead of them, and then all of a sudden they like circle around or go whatever, and then they're behind them, and they're like, "Oh, we're being stalked."
Yeah, no thanks, man. I'll I'll be such a quick draw on a cat. Shoo! Like they ain't getting me, man.
Right.
But I mean, you're so close to Maine. You should apply for the moose lottery up there.
Yeah, I thought about it. Again, that was another trip. It was the owner, Dana, his dream trip was a moose. So we worked with an outfitter, and he actually got to go to Newfoundland last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he got a moose. And then our friend Jake, who's actually another one of the Bugle Country down in Southern Maryland, he went as well. He went on that trip, and he got a moose too. We're actually having moose for dinner tonight. So. Oh,
very cool.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely could. And one of my good friends that I met because of the show lives in Vermont. So one of these days I'm going to make it up there, but I just haven't. It's so hard because, like, again, working full time, you have to kind of manage time off. And with already going to North Dakota for the show for the women's hunt and everything else, trying to, hunt myself here and then just taking the small trips to Maryland, it's kind of hard to manage with time off. So I don't bite off more than I can chew, but eventually one of these years, I'll probably try to make my way up there or out west. Yeah,
trust me, I get the time thing. Then you got to mix in kids in it and it gets even harder, but it is what it is. The Maine moose hunting is a lot of fun. It's actually a really hard tag to draw. My family and we apply for it every year. I was lucky enough to draw a cow tag my very first year. And we were successful up there. And then the following year, my dad's second year, he drew a bull tag, and he went up there and killed a bull. And he went with an outfitter for the cow hunt. We just went up there and went up to some public land up there and got on one. But it's a very limited amount of tags, so it's hard to draw. But if you do get drawn, it is such a fun trip. It's just, I mean, you don't have to drive very far to get there. You don't have to fly out of the country. It's pretty straightforward. It's a fun hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely looks like it.
But, well, this was a great conversation. I mean, is there anything you want to throw out there? You want to plug the socials for USOC?
Yeah, so on Facebook, we're USOC Adventures TV. On Instagram, we're at USOC TV. And our website is myusoc.com. And that's where you can become a member if you want to sign up. You can check out our YouTube. We have all the previous season episodes are up. So if you want to check out, what one of the episodes looks like. And we're on the Pursuit channel. Yeah, right now, January through June.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. What is that? Is it once a week, one episode per week? Is that how it works?
They do one episode, per week. Yeah,
like
it airs, I think, four different times a week. There's probably Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then one other airing. But It's usually like one episode a week.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, look, I personally just want to thank you, seriously so much because, I mean, one, for coming on and joining us today, and having this conversation, and two, for all those years, I don't know, it's probably been 4 years now since I did the clothing thing, but, I'm trying to start a small business and trying to make it work. And I can specifically remember, writing out USPS labels and shipping them up to New York for you. And you bought quite a few things. So seriously, thank you so much for supporting us back then and for supporting us now. It seriously, it means a lot.
I still wear my Upper Bay hoodie and my hat all the time.
Oh, good. Well, good. I'm glad it's lasted. I got, it's funny. Like, I mean, I sold out of pretty much everything except for like odd sizes. And every once in a while I go in the basement and I find the tote that still says Upper Bay Outdoors Clothing on it. And I'm like, man, just some good memories. I got to meet a lot of cool people doing that. It didn't pan out, obviously, but it turned into this. So can't complain about that.
Right. Yeah.
But
definitely.
Well, cool. Again, thank you so much. When I end this thing, just hang out in the background for a little bit, and I'm gonna, because I just want to follow up with you. But Yeah, no, seriously. Thank you again. Everybody, this is the Upper Bay Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.